Recording.
Recording.
Oh, good. We got it. All
Oh,
right.
good.
Thank goodness.
Oh, good.
Once again.
Yippee.
I know that guy.
Me too.
I know that guy. Turn some lights on in here, Mrs. Ryan.
It
there
is
we
dark.
go.
Hello.
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 Allow me to get situated here while Mrs. Ryan sits awkwardly in silence.
This is what I do best.
This is how we get around the how are you today?
Yeah, it makes more sense to me.
What does?
Being quiet and zen instead of trying to think of an answer to that.
If anybody from your old life just heard any of that, they're like, wow, she's different.
Oh, I'm not the same. Totally.
And I mean that in a huge complimentary way. I mean, just the old you. Not, zen, I don't know that you, did you ever say it? Did you ever hear the word? Did you know the definition at that time in your life?
Probably not. I remember asking completely out of the right time and context if someone meditated, and I got a weird look. So, guessing I was not looped in.
Well, that's interesting. I wonder why. Was it because, oh, you're not supposed to talk about that? Or what was the reason, I wonder?
There was like 5 of us in a van between press appearances. It was like the wrong time. Like it was probably a fine question to ask at a different time. I'm not good with context sometimes, and I just blurted it out.
Well, speaking of blurting it out, today is welcome, good evening. Today is Thursday, July 19th, 2018. I am Jay Ryan. This is Nicole Ryan. This is It's Tonight's Show. Thank you for being with us. It's so good to see you. I haven't seen you at all today.
I know, it's so weird.
Yeah. So it's good to see you. I mean it.
You do. Happy afternoon.
Yeah, I like how the husband or the co-host compliments the other wife or co-host, and she's like,
You're right. I'm not good with that part either. It's so nice
no,
to see
it's
you.
fine, but
been a while.
I meant it complimentary. Not everything is a joke.
It felt nice.
Winston, who is here, we were talking previously before the show started. He was saying how some of the funnier stuff of our show, because we don't intentionally, it's not like we do jokes and comedy and stuff, but some of the funnier bits or parts are when right now. This is one of the funnier parts, essentially. He's chuckling.
Awkward moment.
The stool shaking. Oh my goodness.
Awkward
Anyway, well, let's get into it, shall we?
Sure.
I don't have a tremendous amount of stuff to get through today, but I do want to go through some viewer mail.
Oh, good.
Yep, we got some viewer mail. You love viewer mail.
I do.
Who doesn't love viewer mail? It's essentially just an unboxing. This one comes to us, of course, from, and I say of course because in a video we saw the other day, Kaz said one of these FedExes is for you. So it's from Steve Kaz. Kaz Productions, Danbury Chive, although you know damn well this is from BMW. Let's see, what do we got here? T-shirt. We knew that. We knew it was going to be
There's
a T-shirt.
2 of us, Danbury Chive.
Oh, I see. Nice. Wow, you could tell it was one item?
Yeah. I'm way ahead of you.
Maybe it's your size, Mrs. Ryan.
It's not. I saw that too.
Well, the last one was yours, if I recall. You got the last one. He is Vigo, or whatever it was.
Yeah, I almost wore that today.
Well, that would have been good timing. What do we got here?
Good.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay. Goodbye Newman, but it's a velociraptor from Jurassic Park.
That's fantastic.
From the end of when Wayne Knight loses his glasses.
Oh, that's really funny.
That's great.
I love that.
That's great. And this one for sure is my size, Kazman. So I would say we're actually 1 for 1. Or
good.
1 and 1.
Good. I'm excited to see that on you. Green's a good color.
Is it?
Yeah.
March is coming up in just like 11 months.
Whatever.
Whatever it is.
It's one holiday.
Thank you, Kazman. That is awesome. Speaking of the Kazman, though, we should probably go over to the East Coast feed and check in with him. This is what he was doing. You know what he gave me? Shit, he gave me an option. Here, I'll come back to us for a second. He gave me an option. The whole system is crumbling down. Excuse me a moment.
Oh, we came back to us.
I'm glad we came back to us so I could choke all over this shit show. he said, "Oh, you've got a choice," and I didn't know what he meant until I loaded them in the system. And let me rephrase that: I didn't know what he meant, I think, until right now. But I've already loaded them into the system. I have a feeling he actually gave us an alt for once. So I almost feel like, let's see them both. Let's see what his options are. You know what I mean?
Let's see what a director you are.
All right, cool. All right, so back to East Coast Fee with Steve Kaz.
Yay!
Dan Berry Chive. Roll it, Hal.
Hi, Mrs. Ryan. Steve Kaz, the East Coast Fee, coming here live with Sarah the Cambodian.
Hi.
So,
I'm your token Asian.
And apparently she's a token Asian. Anyway, Sarah the Cambodian stopped by tonight. We were watching some of the original Life of the Ryans, a.k.a. episode 28, where I might have been a guest star or something. And Sarah said, can you pause it because I have to take a pee. Focus here. Sarah then says, what do you say, Sarah?
I want to change your toilet roll.
Why do you want to change the toilet roll, Sarah? Can we talk about
It's wrong.
Because some fucking heathens grabbed the toilet paper from the top when I grabbed it from the bottom. Can we show people?
It was all I could do to not switch it, because I do that sometimes.
I don't know if it's like an Asian thing or what the fuck it is. All I know is heathens grab from the top.
No.
People grab from the bottom. Let's discuss. Talk amongst yourselves. The topic, Barbara. Love you guys. See you later, baby.
You're totally wrong, Kaz.
Yeah,
funny.
where do you stand on that? Obviously, you're top.
I'm a top.
I mean, but we're both tops. Were we both tops before we, you know, it's not like our marriage dictated.
No.
We had a big battle and
we
top one
came
out.
into the marriage both equally top.
I'm going to have
on
to
the
ask the
toilet
peanut
roll.
gallery as well.
Anything to say over there?
Toilet paper roll. Is it from the top or the bottom? I'm sorry, were you watching the show?
I don't hear anything, but I think...
Out or facing in?
Yeah, is it coming over the top or is it hanging out from the bottom?
Over the top.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter, but
yes.
I know wars have been. I've been in a couple of wars that have been started over that.
I'm with you. I would.
Tremendous loss of life and casualty, but yeah, I mean, to some people, it's a big damn deal.
Yeah.
I'm just thankful that there's toilet paper in places, because sometimes you get a rude awakening and it's like, oh shit.
He's riffing. He's riffing now. Yeah, I'm with you. I would not change it, but for sure the top. I wouldn't change it at someone's house at this point in my life. But if I was a young trickster of like, you know, haha, look at me, I want attention, and I'm going to start a thing about toilet paper now because it puts the fucking spotlight on me. Yeah, I would have done that all day long.
For sure.
I probably did. I probably changed it with him all. For years, I turned his stove, like the over stove light on, because it was like, I like that as a night light. You know what I mean? I like that as like, it's a nice light without having to leave a light burning. You know what I mean? You replace a 15-watt bulb every 20 years. It's no big deal, you know?
Yeah, we leave ours on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same
it makes
thing.
sense.
Same reason. It's
Don't
one of those
fight
things.
it if it works,
I always
man.
did that. Anyway, all right. So that was not even what I was talking about, because that was the one that's a one of. Here is one of, I believe, two, and I still could be wrong about this, but this is what I think.
Okay.
He means. Okay. Roll it, Hal.
So as you can see here, Mr. and Mrs.
Kicked off
Ryan,
of YouTube for one.
Goodbye.
Dave Chappelle, Jerry Seinfeld, comedians
Yeah,
in
we get
cars
it.
getting coffee.
Get off the screen.
Random weekday nights in the East Coast feed, sitting at home, watching comedian in cars, getting coffee, thinking about being in LA. The last time I was there, I may have watched 6 straight hours of this because it's fantastic. It makes me
I'll show
laugh.
you.
It's got calls. I love it. Have you seen this episode? I think you have.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So there's one. I'll just go right into the next one.
Ryan,
Roll it, Hal.
this is Ryan. Steve Kaz watching Jerry Seinfeld and Dave Chappelle. Comedians in cars or coffee shops getting coffee.
Did you tape the whole episode?
No, that's fine.
Do you
can
know
do
why I
that.
love this show?
long as it's not
Because it's hysterical. Because it is just what it says. Just like your show is just what it says. And I remember the last time I was in LA, I think it was episode 28 and 29. I may have been watching 6 episodes in a row of this because it's fantastic. There it is. Getting coffee. Love you guys.
That's pretty funny
guy.
that he sent an alt. Like he's getting into it now.
That's awesome, and I love that he watches that show because of his time here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, it's super neat. I love that show.
I love you, Mrs. Ryan. All right, that is it. That's been East blah, blah, blah. We are barreling through stuff here, Mrs. Ryan. Feels good.
Yeah.
Brings me to my next question, though,
Dun.
and it is what was that?
Dun dun. Got ahead of
Jaws
myself.
coming?
Jaws.
There has been. Okay, can we talk about that for just 1 second? Unless one of your news stories
No.
is about it. There have been a shit ton of shark attacks lately. Like the fucking sea creatures have had enough of our bullshit. That's what I believe.
Yeah, I saw a weird thing about somebody that ate a shark today, and that's the only
Oh, a
thing.
big grouper.
Yeah.
500-pound grouper eats a
Yeah.
shark. I mean, it's shit's going nuts.
was
Dogs
like-
and cats living together. All right, Mrs. Ryan, the question on everybody's mind, what's going on?
Dun, dun,
Dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun.
dun.
Okay, well, I almost talked about that grouper fish because that video scared the crap out of me.
You should. Did I blow it?
No, it's not on my list. I switched out, but I'll go somewhere else. The TSA is now asking people and recommending that people remove snacks as well as electronics.
I mean, all right. Is that a problem?
It's a problem just
Don't
in
you have to
that-
do the liquids anyway? Can't you just throw the snacks in with the liquids, or like have another baggie for the snacks? Don't responsible people who are bringing snacks on a plane have them in a damn baggie anyway? Why does everyone have to go for their individual fun-sized Snickers every 5 minutes on the overhead compartment? You fly a lot. You know what I'm talking about. You used to fly a lot.
Yeah. I
Who's
get-
with me? No, I'm just kidding.
That's why this stuck out to me. Like, stop making it so hard. And like, first of all, no, you don't need to bring your snacks. Like, grow up. Like, you don't need Lay's for like a 2-hour flight. But like, why are we? The whole point of screening bags is because people pack their bags. Like, we shouldn't have to unpack all of our carry-ons to like put through a screener. Like, it just weirded me out.
There is an interesting point you're making now of like, do you just have an open bag policy at some point?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that that's what it comes to, right? And then people just rifle through your shit, and then you repack it at the end of the line. Like it would have been crazy. Tell your parents one day you're gonna have to. You don't have to dress up.
Yep.
You're gonna fly away. You don't have to dress up at all. No Sunday clothes. No.
Take your shoes off.
Take your shoes off.
Oh, don't.
Take your shoes off. I don't even remember where we were going. I'm already so disgusted by the
TSA.
whole fact that it's different. But imagine having to take your shoes, being told you had to take your shoes off to go through just going through security. This whole thing.
It's
Man,
it's
Mrs.
nuts.
Ryan, you got me wound up on this one.
I did, and I didn't mean to get you wound up.
No, it's okay.
That's news
Just
story
kidding.
number one. The second one calmed me down a little bit, but definitely goes on what we just
What's
talked
that?
about. The second one zened me down a little bit.
Oh, I thought you were singing that Butterfly from that Crazy Town. Come, my lady, come, my. I thought that's what you said.
I don't sing. I'm like the worst singer. The national.
Actually, you nailed it.
I really hope I didn't sing ever in front of our
I'm just
guest.
kidding.
I might have, and that's embarrassing. I'll ask him here. The National Comedy Center is opening in August. Do you know where it's opening?
Is this the one that's in New York, upstate?
Yes.
Yeah, I do. But I can't remember the town. But it's one. Yes, I do. You want to know why? It's related to this, of course.
Really?
Yeah, when Letterman first went off the air, whenever that was, 2015 or something, like shortly thereafter, and I mean like a month after or maybe weeks after, Regis Philbin hosted a panel with crew members, and it was like Barbara Gaines and Biff Henderson and some of those guys, and like former writers. I think Steve O'Donnell was one of them. But anyway, all of that was done at this center that they were currently built. It was actually someplace else at an annex, but for this same facility that was being built. I think it's the American Comedy Museum Center or something. Like it's the national something or other that's really important.
It's now going to be. It's in Jamestown, New York.
Jamestown, New York.
Which is an hour away from Buffalo.
Yes.
But the one
That's it.
the museum that is in existence is the Lucille Desiarnaz Museum.
Oh, maybe
Because
that's
Lucille's
maybe
from
that's where they did
there,
it.
and this is like this National Comedy Center will be next to it.
I think you're right. That sounds very familiar. I think that may be where it was. Anyway, it's a good reminder. We should watch that because it was kind of interesting as well. But please.
Well, Amy Schumer and Dan Aykroyd are performing to open this place in August,
That's
and
pretty
that
cool.
just made me so happy. In Jamestown,
Separately,
like
I'm assuming.
I don't know. I think it's for like the
It'd be
opening.
funny if she took on the Belushi role.
Yeah, I'm not like in a Blues Brothers rendition or anything, but like to open up the event, they're both doing stand up, which is super cool. It's where Lucille Ball's from, and I have a friend from there. and
Dan's going to do stand up?
That's what it
How
said.
cool. Why? I'm just simply asking if that's what you said. Why are you now defending?
Because I'm a very defensive human that I'm working on that.
Okay, Mrs. Ryan, that's awesome. That's very exciting news for me personally. Thank you for that one. What do
Sure.
you got next?
Starbucks and McDonald's are teaming up to make a compostable cup lid situation.
Instead of a straw?
Well, yes, they're
Instead of a
throwing.
styrofoam cup.
No, they're throwing a contest for engineers to come up with something that's biodegradable that will actually be recyclable and usable and blah blah blah. The point of it is kind of dumb, and I feel like it will fall away. But what I took away is that Starbucks and McDonald's, who are like big weird corporations, are teaming up, which I thought was pretty neat.
Sure.
For the
They're not?
environment.
Do we know they're not the same big corporation?
They might be,
Oh,
but
okay.
that would be like a you're not supposed to. So I don't like a merger, like legal thing. I don't know. Who knows?
I think we're past the monopoly thing. Well, the stuff we were taught when we were kids in school doesn't seem to be an issue anymore. When you look at the government and everything else these days. Don't even mean politically. I just mean there were things that used to be rules. You couldn't do this. You couldn't have big companies merge because then it would they would have all the control. And I don't know. It's happening left and right. And there's only like a couple big companies left, and then that's about it. So.
Well, McBucks is making a new lid that will
Look at you.
Yeah, today's a good one.
Yeah. Because I'm over here like Star Donald's. And I can't put it together. Go ahead.
Oh, my head's on today. This is good. I have two more. The next one is Mr. Bum Bum is his nickname, but he's a plastic surgeon in Brazil who's on the lam because someone died under his care after a butt implant.
Did you read the story?
Yeah.
Do you know where this man performed, where he practiced?
In his apartment.
Yeah.
And they referred to him as a celebrity plastic surgeon.
He might be. I mean, he had an Instagram following of like a lot or something.
Oh, well.
According to the story.
Would you let me get plastic surgery done in an apartment building?
I don't see a world where allow is the wrong word, but have any interest in you having plastic surgery.
Same. But okay, take plastic surgery out of the equation. Like, I don't see you letting me go to an apartment to have any kind of medical procedure done.
I probably wouldn't take you to an apartment to see a therapist for the same reason.
Right.
Like it's one of those. I mean, these days it's different. I mean, we're doing we're having people come to our home. So I mean, it's a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But you know what we're gonna do, and it's all being photo. I mean, you know what I mean. What we do here is shown to everybody. There's no privacy. There's no weird stuff.
Here's the deal. In the 90s, I think there was like
be an after-hours spinoff.
There was the thing going around about women that were getting cement injected in their butt for butt implants. And it reeked of the same kind of situation because this was acrylic glass that got injected in her butt. It just weirded me out.
Who cares?
Whatever. The last one that really I wanted to mention is that the Brady Bunch house is for sale and they might tear it down.
Around the corner.
Mm-hmm. They might tear it down.
That's if somebody bought it, they might tear it down. But
yeah, you're right.
That's not going to happen. I'm sure there have been people waiting to buy that damn thing.
Well, good.
I'm sure there's a guy with a website who's been stockpiling cash since 1972 who is like waiting for that fucker to come on the market so he can tear the fence down, put the fake window back up, and, you know, the flower curtains in the windows and the whole bit.
Well, then all of our friends should know that
like
it's going
the
to be
Christmas Story house.
sale.
You worked with them for years, the Christmas Story people.
Yeah, it draws attention for sure. We've been there. I mean, we've been by it at least. Like
when we first moved here, we went there once. When we first moved
Yeah.
here, and it is literally blocks away.
It was super neat to me to see that it was on sale.
Yeah. That's awesome. It. Okay. And that's been What's Going On. Good job, Mrs. Ryan. You want to take a break and bring in our guest?
Yeah.
All right. We will be right back. And when we are, Winston Byrd will be here. More after this. are back with Winston Byrd.
Hi, Winston.
Hi.
What's up, fella?
Oh man, it was trying to get here.
Trying to get here was up?
Yeah, it was trying to get here because I was supposed to be back last week, and then I got caught up with all the 4th of July.
You've been on tour, so all right, welcome back.
Thanks.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Very happy you're here. Thanks for playing along earlier.
Oh yeah.
Can you talk about where you were? You were on the road, right?
Yeah, I went back east to play the Clifford Brown Jazz Festival in Wilmington, Delaware. It's kind of my adopted hometown.
I was going to say, isn't that where you're from or where you grew up or something?
Yeah, that's kind of where I moved after graduating high school, and then it was like that's where everything musically began to happen, and it was like, okay, I'm off from there. But it was nice to come back home. Myself and saxophonist Ernie Watts, who was on the Tonight Show band for 25 plus years in that band. He's from Wilmington also.
Was that the Jay Leno's band?
No, that was
With Carson's band.
that was
So Doc's band.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah,
cool.
He was one of the tenor threats.
You talked about him last time as being a major influence, somebody very important in your life.
Well, yeah, because
right?
We both hail from the same place,
There you
and
go. Okay.
And it's nice when they bring us back, because the last time they brought us back there, it was his band and my band. I opened up for his band, and that's where we really got acquainted, because he lives in Denver. He still has a place in LA where he comes and if he's going to work or what have you. But that was where we got acquainted. And so for this one, this was, I think, the 30th anniversary of the festival itself. So they put together an all-star big band of everybody around like Philadelphia and Wilmington. It had something to do with Clifford Brown or the legacy, or just some of the really great musicians in the area.
Okay.
And they brought Ernie in as a feature soloist. They brought me in as a soloist and the lead player and co-conductor, which was kind of nice. And
That sounds awesome.
yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
You-
The leader of the band, Gerald Chavis, who I've known since I moved there, you know, he put that all together. He's a real trooper and just kept everything running. I just got in, did my part, and got out of there.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. From a technical standpoint, can I ask?
Yes.
That's those are several different roles, different positions. I mean,
Yeah,
you're a
but you
player,
know what?
you're
You
a
just do
conductor,
it. Yeah.
it's a lot of different things. Totally. But for you, they're all different skill sets as well. They're all skills that you have.
Yeah.
How is that to just drop into that and then ping pong in and out of those different roles? I'm asking because I'm asking selfishly because I'm in a situation like that now where I'm directing, I'm a host, I'm doing a bunch of things all at
Right.
once. And
Well, I mean, you know, I knew what I was going in there to do in the first place, because they sent everybody the chart. So, you know, and there's YouTube. Thank God for YouTube. You know, if there's anything you want to find out, you can usually go there and it has it. You know, original recordings, that kind of stuff. So
It sounds like this was a lot more work to orchestrate. Sorry for the pun.
No.
But like the
Nice.
Nice.
all the hats that you wore going in there versus normally it sounds like, at least in my experience, like you're more of a day player, and that like you go into a pre-existing circumstance versus you had 3 different ways to orchestrate this,
no, this was, you know,
which is cool.
yeah, you go in, you know, playing lead for the band was one thing. I was like, okay, I gotta have this, you know, and then I know I got to play some solos. I was actually happy. I tried to limit myself because I really wanted to concentrate on just playing the lead. And there's a lot of guys that, you know, like you take John Faddis. Lou was the same way.
Lou Soloff.
Lou was the same way.
Lou Soloff.
Lou would sit up there and play lead all night, and because of his, you know, fame, and John the same way. It would be, they would play the lead book and not take a solo all night, and by the end of the night, the audience is like, "Yo, we want to hear you. We actually want to hear. We came to hear you." And it's like, really, I'm just sitting up here. Y'all done heard me all
They lay
night
back.
playing on top of the band.
Yeah.
Now you want to hear me play. It's like, oh, okay. So I just kind of played the same thing, and at the end of it, was like, okay, well, you know, Winston hasn't played yet. Is he going to play? And
if they ask for it, you got to give it to them.
it was really cool.
Showmanship there.
Showmanship, always. And but we had a nice section, really great players there. Ernie was fantastic. Band was fantastic. They actually had us on the 5 o'clock news like the day after, because they do what they do there is called Summerfest. So they were doing a live
Was
feed.
this you? Oh, this is you separate from the Nasty Delicious band, right?
Yeah.
This is a separate thing completely.
Yeah, this is
okay.
the-
I'm
yeah,
just
All the
this
making
people
sure.
aligned with that guy outside of Philly, or
I'm sorry?
wasn't it like all the people affiliated with that guy?
With Clifford Brown
Yeah.
at the festival. Yeah. This
Okay,
is
just,
this is
just making
outside.
sure that it's everyone knows, because people at this point probably know you from the Craig Robinson's Nasty
I
Delicious
know,
band.
and it's like what they're about to see is like, wait a minute, they got a guy in there that does that, you know.
Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at, is that you have the ability to wear several hats, and
Oh man,
not everybody knows
I played principal trumpet and symphony orchestras,
I
which
know
I
that.
can't understand
I know
how
that.
I got there.
You don't need to sell me. I know this. I'm letting them know that when you look up at the band, necessarily, you don't. I bet I bet almost nobody who's not a musician would know that Tom Malone was the musical director for did all the arrangements and everything for the CBS Orchestra with Paul Schaefer.
If you got Tom Malone in your camp,
But
you
know
got
my
like
point, though. People don't know that. They see a guy up there with a trombone and they think there's just some doofus in the back of the band who probably that's what, you know what I mean?
Tom plays trombone, trumpet, every reed instrument, tuba. He writes, arranges. He plays guitar. He is like, I mean, when I first saw him and those guys in the Blues Brothers, that was 8 years old. That's when I knew I wanted to do something like that, because I thought it was cool. These guys spoke their mind, you know, band could turn goat piss into gasoline. I wanted to do that.
I met Tom Malone at my high school when they came for a jazz symposium before I even
Shut
saw
up.
Bruce. Before I even saw Blues Brothers.
Wow.
He was with Chris Brubeck, who was, Dave Brubeck's son, one of the
Yeah, I mean,
kids.
most of these guys, that if they looked at the Blues Brothers, they didn't realize, those guys have backed up Zappa. I mean,
It's the original Saturday Night Live band.
Yeah,
it's
literally,
the original
pretty
Saturday
much.
Night Live band. It's Paul
And all
Schaefer
the-
and all of the guys.
Yeah,
Most
I mean,
of them.
they don't realize, Malone and Lou Marini, they were both in Woody Herman's
Lou.
band.
Oh, is that right, too?
Yeah, they were both in Woody's band. When they got out of North Texas State, and Alan Rubin was part of the Newport Youth Band. When he was a teenager, Marshall, I forget his last name.
I know, you're an encyclopedia, but we're talking about you.
I
That
know.
whole
We
Tom
gotta-
Malone thing was to say that a lot of people don't realize that, the guy in the band up there can do other things.
Yeah.
But this is a great place to let other people know that you love what you do, but you can also do other things.
Yeah.
So I have a clip here that you gave us. Do you want to play that now, and then maybe we'll talk about it?
Yeah, let's play it, and we'll talk about it. And
All right, because
That's how
this,
it works, man.
Because, and I'm asking because this, or I'm bringing this up rather because this is you not playing.
No, I'm not playing. No,
Right.
this is something that actually Ernie requested, and I was able to get it. It's just a little bit. It's a composition from Gerald Wilson, and it was written for his granddaughter, Jessica. And actually, Ernie, who was the soloist there, recorded it back in the 80s with Gerald.
Okay.
So we had been talking like, what are you going to bring? And what are you, Winston, are you going to bring anything? He said, you know what? Let me go talk to the family, and I'll get some of the stuff that you played on the record side. Asked for Jessica. We found it. I copied it. I got it back. The band read through it cold, like the day of the gig. We had a rehearsal. We had like a 4-hour rehearsal before the gig. Band just tore right through it, and that's a little bit of it.
All right. There you go. He set it up. Roll it, Hal. that it?
Yeah, that's about it.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, it's
Was that
just
you
a cell
up at
phone
the
footage.
front doing the conducting?
That was me doing my workout because it was actually hot. We were getting the weather that came out here, I guess. Well, that you ended up getting like a week later. It was already like at least 104 in the shade, 105, and the humidity was like so thick, and we were playing outside. And
There's a couple things I noticed from that. One, that's amazing for the lack of preparation. What a lot of people might not know is how the audio elements and the physics of all this stuff work. That was a cell phone video, clearly. And
Yeah.
it was probably in one of the worst places you could possibly be in order to capture the audio. I have to assume that mix sounded much different than what that cell phone video portrayed.
It was a weird mix that night because we didn't even have the drums mic when we walked in there, and then somebody voiced their opinion very strongly, and all of a sudden mics
Did he have
began,
drumsticks, that guy? Who voiced his
all of a
opinion by
sudden
any chance?
mics began to appear around the drums,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh.
Well, what I was getting at too, though, is the way different instruments are, the way the throws and the different pitches and stuff. Sometimes it can make things sound like they're off pitch, little sharp, little flat, etc. And they may not actually be in the mix.
But with that, it's like it's also Gerald's writing because he wrote so thick, and people are like, they're like, wow, that's just the diminished triangle, especially when he would write for the flutes, especially the thing when you could hear them. That's why I was like, you got to play louder. I need to hear you because it's a chord, and it's a certain chord that I want to hear. And it sounds, you're like, wait a minute, is that? Yeah, it's actually correct.
That's awesome.
But that's what made his music stand out. And, Ernie just, tore right through it. And we had fun, and I lost about 10 pounds that night.
I was going to say condensation, sweat alone, right?
Oh man, when I got done my folk shit, I was like, "Mom, don't hug me, please. Just don't, just shake my hand because." And then, like literally, 10 minutes after it was over, it started raining, and me and a friend of mine were walking to a club around the corner from the grounds where they were having the festival right downtown in Rodney Square, and it just started pouring. And I was like,
it's the best.
No, well, yes, because it cooled everything off, but it was like, wow, the rain actually held off, because I remember doing it one year with T.S. Monk. We came down from New York. We kicked in right to the first. We were looking, and the clouds were looking kind of suspect. And
T.S. Monk.
Yep, and we kicked right into the first tune, and boom! Everything stopped. We were like, are you kidding? And the mayor wanted to meet me because I'm from there, and it was a whole big, I'm like, because I've done the festival many times before, but that one, it was like, we're like, can we make this up? We have to make this gig up. I mean, this is home. But that was the only time, that was the only time it rained out rained out for me. But yeah, it was
But
sad.
you made it.
But I made it.
Time.
Yeah,
This was the rain
this
after.
time. Yeah, this was the rain afterwards, and it was a nice crowd, really nice crowd.
I want to ask how often you get to New York, and I'm asking for certain reasons.
I get to New York. I try to get there when I go to Philly. Because I'm right there. I'm right.
Do you ever play in New York or the New York area, Jersey, or anything like that?
Yeah,
Connecticut, the casinos, or any of that stuff?
You see, I've done Foxwoods with Greg. Yeah, I've done that.
Oh, really? With the Nasty Delicious?
Yeah, we did a long time ago.
Okay.
We did Foxwoods, which was nice. It was an interesting play because I was like, wow, this is what they're talking about. I'm like, all these woods and everything around, and here's this great big ass casino nestled in the woods. I'm like, wow, this place is kind of nice.
I was there when they built that place. I mean, that's where I grew up.
Okay.
Not in the woods there. I
Right.
grew up outside Manhattan on the other side. But it was like, and it was, you could say Indian back then. It was like an Indian casino? What?
Yeah.
I don't even
really.
understand.
Well, you said they got the Hard Rock down in Atlantic City now.
I don't know anything about it. You know what I mean? It's been so long since I've been home, and life is so different. I'm asking because the fella, were you watching before you came out? It's okay if you want.
Yes.
Okay, there's the guy from the East Coast feed, Steve Kaz.
Yes.
He runs the Danbury Chive, as in like thechive.com. He runs the Danbury franchise chapter, yeah. He's a big fan of yours, man.
Oh, no.
Big fan of yours.
Oh, no.
Big fan of yours. So far, other than himself, I think probably you are his favorite guest. So I felt I would be remiss to not at least mention it, and then also tell you that you guys should connect on social because he's Mr. Promoter Guy, and if you have a show anywhere around there, he will bring people out. He'll do a pub crawl there or something. Like he'll make a thing about it.
Make it a thing, yeah.
Because he would want to.
Well, you know what? Then we'll do it. You know, next time I'm back there, I'll shoot up there. We'll do a East Coast feed.
That's what I'm getting at.
That would be great.
He would bring a bunch of people down from the Chive and the whole thing to your show.
Definitely.
And I know he would absolutely love it.
Yes.
It would be a really cool thing on a very small scale of what we used to do with Craig and the band, like traveling and doing stuff. So it could be really cool
like an appearance.
It's yours.
Yeah. Oh,
it'd be yours. It'd be really
neat.
The
next time I'm playing it over. Oh, definitely.
Anywhere around there. I mean, he's in Connecticut, about where I grew up. But I mean, New York, Jersey, Massachusetts, anywhere.
Totally down.
Cool.
Awesome.
You should be. You got a big fan. No, I'm saying because you guys. He does music too. He produces stuff.
No, he was
produces
funny.
hip-hop.
He had me crying over here because I'm like, wait a minute, what are they doing?
He's a guy who works at BMW during the day for the money because he's a car guy, and then he does music at night. He's got a newborn daughter, but he's always into other things.
Well, if he's that
always
big,
out
if
doing
he's
things,
that big
promoting
of a fan,
things, and everything else.
If he's that big of a fan, maybe and like
now
maybe,
you're getting it. Now
it's like maybe I love Japanese cars, but I could be swayed into driving a Bavarian machine for the right price. You know, but actually, no, I still want my Porsche 944. I want the risky business car. I really do. I have wanted that car ever since I saw that movie because it's just a badass car.
But risky business was the 928.
I'm sorry, it was 928. That was my. I still get that mixed up, but it was just that car was like. Even all through high school, was like, I want that car. That was I don't know how it would fare out.
That was my 944.
Oh my!
With a tree on it from Stu
Leonard's.
I love
that picture because it's the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
It's just the car. It is. It's just and the color of it was the light with the dark trim. It was just, oh man, I said that is the dopest car. I mean, cars come and go. I mean, I used to be a Corvette man. When I saw that, it was just I was done with Corvettes. I had it. I was through. It was like nothing can equal this car.
So that's the car we'll see you in someday.
Well, you know what? I know they're kind of hard to find. It's like.
Stop putting up roadblocks and
not in our circle.
They're
all over the place.
Yeah, but then it's like
delete what you said. So we're gonna see you in this car in the future because that's what you've had in your brain for 20 years.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
Yeah, I would. I don't know if it'd be convertible because you want to just.
They didn't make that.
Yeah, but it's just such a badass car. It's like. You feel for him when he drives it in. It was just like, dude, how do you do it? And then
are you talking about Risky Business? Still? Yeah. When was the last time you saw that movie?
About a year ago.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, and you still sound to love it.
It's coming of age story.
No, I know what it is.
Anybody who graduates high school and becomes a pimp before he goes into Harvard Business or wherever he's trying to go. I mean, that was pretty damn exciting. I couldn't believe that. It was, I was watching R movies when I was 8, 9, 10. That's how I saw the Blues Brothers at 8. It was like
was
risky
that
business.
R?
Yeah, it was a rated R movie.
Are you serious?
Oh,
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Violence?
I remember that it was.
No, it was just. I think it was just musicians being musicians.
Oh, was there drug? There might
drug
have been
use
some reefer. Maybe there was some reefer in it.
There was no reefer in it. There
really?
was absolutely no reefer. I mean,
what about on the street with John Lee Hooker in the beginning? Not the beginning, but early on before.
That was I think
Nothing
it was just
there?
a lot of just some foul language.
Yeah.
That was about.
But not even any F-bombs. Are you sure that was R?
Yeah. It was R. Yeah. They didn't have PG-13 and that bullshit. This was 70, either 70 or 79. No, it was 80 when that movie came out. So
that sounds right, and it's still a couple years before
PG-13.
PG,
R, and the last X movie there was, one of the greatest ever, Fritz the Cat.
What?
You never saw Fritz the Cat?
We are bouncing all over the place, but no, let's hear it.
Before we move on to
let's hear it. Yeah,
Fritz the Cat. Go see Fritz the Cat. Rent it, see it, and then come back and talk to me. You're going to be like, "Holy shit, Winston! I just went back to the 1970s and tripped."
So, is it comedy?
It's comedy. It's social awareness for the time of the 1970s.
Is it? I mean, I know the cartoon,
but it's basically it's like Animal Farm for the 1970s.
Wow.
I don't know
if
cats,
I know what Animal Farm is, but
animals represent different factions of people in this flick. Like I said, it's almost like Animal Farm.
Well, I don't know what that is.
Animal Farm, George Orwell.
like 1984. I got you.
Yeah,
yeah,
was
yeah,
kind
The
of
lambs and all
describing
that.
world politics in the set of a farm with animals that could talk.
Okay.
And so this
I
is
didn't
kind of
know
like
that.
the same thing on a bigger scale. Where it's like whole populations, like, white people are cats, black people are crows,
shit.
Jews are a certain faction, white supremacists are this animal, it's really deep. And Fritz goes through all these different lives. He smokes weed, he's a loaf, he's a pain in the ass. He's always trying to pull somebody's chick from him. I mean, it's the weirdest thing. Robert Crumb did the comics, but they did a video.
Mm-hmm. I remember the comic. That's what I'm saying. I remember the cartoon and Crumb and the whole bit.
Anybody who of important. Pat Harrington from One Day at a Time was one of the voices in the film, and because the motion
Schneider.
picture. Yeah, Schneider. He's in there. Yeah. Yeah, Glenn Turman from...
Hey, Mr. Romano.
Yep. I mean, when you look at the credits and see who actually participated in this film, you're going to be like, holy shit, these are all the... They probably just like, you know what, let's do this for fun. And they made the movie, it got screened, and it was rated X. They said, fuck this, we're sticking the whole thing. And it's just nudie comics.
Well, I was going to say, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it sounds
you
like
see,
you either edit it or you
see
make it so
and
nobody
hear
can see
a
it.
lot of shit in here, but it's a classic. I mean, I have it on my phone. It's and the only reason is because it has one of the greatest soundtracks ever. Bernard Purdie, Chuck Rainey, Tom Scott and the L.A. Express.
All right.
Yeah,
Holy
I mean,
shit.
it's killing.
Are you drinking coffee? I
Yes.
can't keep up. Holy shit!
But back to
man, you are on a whoo.
Enough about you.
You know
Let's talk about me.
everybody.
No, I don't know everybody. Just get around.
But you've been playing forever. I want to talk about. I want to talk about what you want to do. We know what you've been doing. We know what you've done your whole life.
Well, you know
it's
what? What I want to
amount.
do. Well, I'm sorry to break off again. What I want to do, well, I'd like to visit some of these animal reserves and like shake the hands of some of these animals that have actually taken their shit back. Especially,
Oh, you said this is
yes.
from the news.
Oh man, let me tell you. I mean, there's a picture floating around saying, this is the face of a happy poacher eater, and it's a lion just smiling, and it's like. The last story I heard, it was some rhino poachers that were out there, and all they left were the bones. And I was like, you know what? This is the kind of story that I want to hear. And that's what I said earlier.
The poacher's bones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was like, oh, you're going to fuck around our neighborhood? Okay. We done had enough of y'all with this gun shit. We just going to make mincemeat out of you. It's like, call the kids. We got dinner. I'm really happy for these animals. They finally said, fuck it. I mean, like with the...
We're talking about the sharks and the grouper and stuff.
Yeah. It's like, you know what? Some animals are just like, you know what? I'm about tired of this shit. I really am, And if I have to eat the next asshole that comes by here, then so be it. It makes me feel good because really we're living on their shit. And
you have a different agenda here.
Yeah.
Are you gonna play for Greenpeace?
I don't know if I'm going to go out there for Greenpeace because if somebody shot at me from an opposing boat, I'm going to put a fucking torpedo in the water.
You watch those videos?
I've watched some of those videos,
the whaling
with the whaler ships,
yeah.
and I'm like, you know what? I'm surprised Greenpeace doesn't have a sub blowing these motherfuckers out of the water because it's like, I don't need perfume that bad. I don't really need to. What do we need out of a whale?
Well, they're just shy of using the torpedoes. I mean, they literally are using these boats funded by Sam Simon. A lot of his last remaining time on Earth was spent with foundations and I can't think of the one I'm talking about, but they used to have the Batman boat and everything else, but they had I can't think of what the heck the name of the specific one is, but it's like Greenpeace type thing, and they're going after these Japanese whaling vessels.
I think
and
that's
they literally collide with them, and they're ramming their own
I've heard about
$10 million boats into giant ships.
Really,
and stuff.
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, it's like we're fucking around on their shit.
Here's the deal. I'm going to be the asshole in the room, and I'll just own that. But he asked, I'll own it. But he asked you what you want to do.
Oh, what I want
do.
Do
you want to do that?
Oh, no, I don't.
Or do you like hearing about
I
that?
like hearing about it.
Okay, cool. We'll talk about it later.
You know what you're doing?
Being the asshole that I started out saying I would be.
No. It's totally fine. But it's one of those like my husband couldn't get it done, so I'm gonna. And
well,
it's totally
that's not
fine.
what I
was
mean.
trying to let him tire himself out, and then I was going to hit him again.
No, I just went there for a minute because it's like, you know.
No, I don't care. You went into old work mode, and it was just like, I'll get this fucking shit done. I'm gonna get an answer out of this cocksucker.
Well,
And she got me back to the question, but it's just one of the things, you know, it was like, man, you know, it really did my heart good to hear that story today, because but what I like to do, I'm just doing what I'm doing. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I'm playing music. Now, at every possible chance I get, if I'm not in front of the band, I'm in the band, which I like. You know, if I got to be out in front of the band itself, then it's, you know, it's like, okay, let me just take a couple of leave. And
well, that's what I'm asking, though. But what's your future? I mean, so are you just going to kind of gig for the rest of your life? Which there's nothing wrong with that. What? No, but I know you, and we've had other conversations off the air, and there are other things you could do that you might be interested in.
There was some a couple ideas that I was looking at, and I said, well, I would have to get through certain channels, but what I am doing right now is just playing. I'm enjoying, you know, the work that I'm doing. I'm enjoying traveling. I'm enjoying just, like I said, if I'm not in front of the band, I'm inside the band somewhere.
I know you love playing. I don't mean to discount that.
No.
I meant in addition to, not in place
you
of.
know, or I get a call to write for somebody, and then it's
now
like,
we're talking.
Yeah, you know, then it's like, oh, okay, then I got to go do this and scribble this out for someone, and then so it's.
Do you have any projects?
Yeah, I have one. I'm not really into it right now because I've been doing so much for everybody else.
That's not. What do you hear when you hear that? I mean,
I know what you're going to say. You're like, well,
I don't have to say anything. I stopped myself.
Yeah, I know. But I know what you were insinuating.
I asked a question. What do you hear when you hear that?
What I hear is like, well, why aren't you working on yours? Because you're working on everybody else's. Well, you know what? I enjoy working on everybody else's because it keeps me occupied. And
I know you love making stuff.
I love, but I gotta be. But you know what? I also have to be in the mood too.
No. I mean, even other people's stuff. I'm saying, I know you love making.
Oh no,
stuff.
when I get somebody, you know, somebody puts a project or puts something in my lap, then I'm like, oh, okay, all right, let me get to this and start scribbling some notes and this, that, and the other thing. That, yes.
You're such a good collaborator that way. And that's just like all I've seen this whole time, asshole aside from me.
No.
But like, because I adore you. I think you're such a good musician.
Thank you.
So hearing you and seeing you wearing all the other hats and knowing your history really separately as a day player, like it widens my perception of you so broadly. And I would love to help let other people know that like not every day player is just a day player. Like you do so much more.
Oh yeah, and you know what? I have fun with it. I just, you know, I lose weight with it. You know, it's good for the. It actually is.
I'm sure.
No, I will tell you.
But what about What about inside? Because I know you love to make music. I know you love to create.
You know, it's great. It's great. I will tell you that the next day after that, because, and scientifically I should have known this, and it was my own fault. The next day I woke up, and literally every joint hurt like hell, and I totally forgot that because I do perspire a lot. If it's hot out, whatever, and I'm performing.
All your electrolytes.
Yeah. And once that goes, your body starts to cramp. Just the smallest movement, it'll cramp. And they say two things. Either get some pickle juice or soy sauce and drink it right away. And literally.
Is it the sodium? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
No
it's
kidding.
The sodium. It's the salt in it. And, you know, because I'm literally like, sometimes I hate when they do it. I know we used to do it at Typhoon. And sometimes Typhoon would not be. They wouldn't have the windows open. The fans wouldn't be going. We're up there in suits.
Over in the
Santa Monica Airport restaurant. It's not there anymore, right?
It's not there anymore.
It's a shame.
Well, they caught hell because they actually found they were supposed to have been found to have been serving whale meat. Or dolphin meat or something that wasn't supposed to be.
And you used to play there.
You know what? I never knew they had
I'm
that
appalled.
Stuff. They never used to give us any of that. They gave us house food. They never gave us anything off the menu.
In all fairness, this place also had crickets and other bugs on the menu.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, what in the shit?
Yeah.
But the guy who put the music on, he was a really nice guy. He's very supportive cat. And
it's a great room. I hope somebody moves in there because
I don't know who moved in there because you know that was a really good spot. That was some really prime real estate up in there.
Yeah.
But the last night it was open was when this country took a turn for the worse.
Oh.
And yeah, that was the last night it was open.
What do you mean?
It was open election night.
Oh, you're kidding.
That was the last night, and I went
last year.
Yeah, I went there, And man, when I started seeing some stuff going, I was like, wait a minute. I said, let me get up out of here. Maybe this is a bad vibe up in here, because some people were getting excited and I just want to go like, shut up, you know. And by the time I got home, everything was going weird, and I was like, I don't believe this shit. But you know what the good part about that is, and I'll make it very brief.
Sure.
You know what? We really,
and I won't hold you to that.
No. I think, you know what? It took what about 2 years? Because midterms are coming up in November, right? And I know probably there's going to be a lot of people that watch this, and they're probably going to have a lot to say about what I'm about to say. But you know, I really don't give a shit. It took would you say this about 2 years into it, or a year
just
and a
said
half?
that.
I mean, I'm not. I want to be somewhat mathematically correct.
Oh, July is the 7th. Yeah, over a year and a half.
Over a year and a half. It took over a year and a half for this country to see what kind of a treasonous son of a bitch we got. Yeah, I said it.
Well, you can say whatever you want. We don't get political because we're not allowed to,
yeah,
really. But you can do whatever you want.
I couldn't believe it that when I went on my Facebook and I saw treason, all this stuff, you know, people putting, I was like, wow, it finally happened.
Nothing's
You know?
happened. I don't know what you're doing. You do this all the time with everything. You did the same thing with Louis C.K. Nothing has happened.
Well,
I don't disagree with some of your opinions and your views, but I don't know what you think. Tell me what you think has happened so I understand.
When you go in front of the whole world and you basically say, oh, no, this guy didn't do anything. You guys are wrong. Intelligence, everything. You guys are so wrong. And I'm like,
I don't see this day being any different. He's just with a different guy.
Yeah, I know. He's just with a different guy. I mean, I look at it like, wow, man, you actually got up and said to everybody that, you know, basically you who represent us, we ain't shit, and that's your pal.
But why you're the one fooled then if you're surprised by any of this?
Well, I mean, I'm just looking at it as a semi-participant. I get to participate in November with my vote, which I'm looking forward to. It's just a shame that, you know, people had to find out, you know, the hard way. And I don't know what you think is that it's because your scales have tipped for some reason. You're making it as though they've tipped for the entire world. I don't know what's going on. No, I don't know if they tipped for the entire world or not. I just, you know, I was just very surprised that, you know.
This is what I'm trying to figure out. You're an intelligent fella. What are you surprised about?
I am surprised that all these people that said, oh, he's the greatest guy in the world and everything, and he's doing this, he's doing that, and then all of a sudden we find out, hey, this is my buddy Vladdy. And I'm like, oh, wow. And everybody's saying, well, wait a minute, he had something to do with this. And he had to, you know, and it was like, wow, this is really sad.
I can't follow you, buddy.
Oh, I know.
I can't figure out what you're saying.
But
so you're not my political source, no offense. So
no,
I can't stand by you and say anything right now.
I just really like, you know, I kind of miss, like, you know, the way we used to be, like when we used to watch, you know,
love each other.
Yeah,
that was nice.
I missed that when we used to, like,
even
you know,
2 years ago when we all used to fucking love each other.
Yeah, we used to really like each other. I mean, I get afraid now sometimes, like when I go out, like, is somebody going to call the cops on me for walking down the street?
Because of your skin color.
Yeah, is somebody going to, you know, I've already dealt with, you know, the witch hunt.
All right, so take politics out of it.
Yeah, let's take politics.
But let's talk about racism and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We have a different time walking down the street, you and me, I would imagine.
I'm scared to death.
So that's what I'm getting at. Tell people that. I mean, what the fuck is it like out there? Because I got to tell you, it's not that much better being well, I shouldn't say that. It's probably completely different. But it's not safe either way, in my opinion, these days.
Yeah, and, you know, when it's promoted and stuff like that, it's just really sad. I mean, I'm afraid to like go into like department stores by myself. You know, I do, seriously.
But I think that I'm trying to relate to you in the wrong way, apparently, because you're steamrolling it on your side. I feel like everybody's got something to be afraid of, so we can't be afraid of anything.
No,
like we got to fight against the fear.
Yeah,
so that
like
otherwise,
FDR said, the only thing to fear is fear itself.
There you go, boom.
But for me, it's like, I mean, just from my travels, you know, we talked about when I was home.
Sure.
I went out to a mall that's near me. Okay, I go to Bath and Body Works. I go there a lot. I have a card, you know, for the rewards, everything. I'm always going, you know. So I go in the one location near me in Delaware, and I walk in, and the place is packed, and I know exactly what I want. I know what I'm looking for. No sooner before I didn't even get to my plastic bag, you know, the bag they give you. And she's like, can I help you with anything? Whatever. And there was like a strew of people that came in behind me that were literally shoving me aside to get to the plastic bags. I'm like, you know, and she was like dead set, like, are you going to rip this place off? The look on her face was like, everybody else in there was women. It was like, okay, wait a minute. I'm just here to get some dark kiss and some, you know, some aromatherapy, and I already know which ones I want. And I'll be out of your hair, I swear.
I'm not a menace. I'm just sensitive.
Yeah, I just...
I'm going to go on a limb and say that if there was a bunch of chicks around, the sales lady was like, oh, there's a dude that probably doesn't know what's up. I should help and offer.
Well,
really?
you know what? Yeah, there was a difference. But there was a difference, like, because she followed me around.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then
she followed me around.
Bear the lead there,
after,
sir.
But, I mean, you know what? That's not her fault. It's just what, you know, she got to deal with. And that's fine.
I don't know. What's the answer? How do we start turning this thing the other way again?
You know,
because that's what I'm struggling with. I know how I'm not worried about me. I know I'm not a hater. I'm a lover.
Yeah.
But I'm not everybody.
Well, for one thing, we got to get over the political hate. Then we've got to get past the racist hate or the racial hate. Mm-hmm. Then we've got to get past the sexist hate. That's really, you know, we've got to get past
I don't know if there's an order to all of it, but I love that you're right about separating it.
Out of the conversation, just start there and be like, all right, we all hate something. Let's just
I
not
hate lima
today.
beans. I mean, I curse the day whoever invented those things. That's the nastiest vegetable I've ever had in my life.
But now you're a hater.
But that's lima beans. I should say I don't hate. And you know what? When mothers say this to the kids, my mother said it to me, you don't hate lima beans. You don't like lima beans.
And that's your point, yes?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the best way. You know what? I don't hate such. I just don't like.
That's fine.
You know. And that, you know, that's the first thing you do to take hate out of everything.
I love
mean, I think actually that word is more detriment than saying shit, damn, piss, you know, fuck, or anything like that. Those are just words that make the thing just funnier. Hate is actually like a word like that actually when it rolls off the tongue, it's like, man, you just like vomited on somebody.
In my opinion,
you know?
It's far more hurtful.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It really is. And, you know, maybe the Oxford Dictionary will do something about it. They always do something every year to try and...
If somebody says, fuck you, that's like, you know, okay, that's one thing. But if somebody says, I hate you, like, sorry, for me personally, that cuts way deeper.
Yeah,
that's like, that's personal.
Marrow,
that is personal. I hate you. Ooh, man.
And I mean...
I don't know that you can recover from that. I mean, I say it like sometimes in a horrible argument.
And I don't mean to go back to the political side of it. When I see all this on Facebook, I hate this guy, I hate that guy. Yeah, but you know what? You're just feeding into what they're trying to. And so, you know, Martin Luther King said, you can't fight hate with hate. You can't. It's just, you know, you basically.
So back to what do? We only have love, right? That's all I got. It's the only weapon I have personally.
I think the funniest is when I go,
and my charm, Winston, obviously.
You have wonderful charm, yeah. What I love is when if I go to the bank or the post office or something like that, and there'll be like an elderly white lady coming up and she'll be taking her time or something like that. I will stand there and hold the door for this lady. Not because I have to, because I want to. And I always get the same response. It's like,
what is it?
Oh my God, thank you. I'm like, you're welcome, ma'am. It's no problem. She's like, you will wait for me. Look, what else I got to do? You know, if it makes your life a little bit easier.
Can I just change I feel like you do what she does. You do something on a motivation, and then the answer you give for why you did it is different. I think you do that stuff because it's the right thing to do, and it makes you feel good.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing.
So don't make it about I got no other place to be.
No,
how about I'm a decent person, lady. Don't be surprised.
What I was saying to her
I love
was,
you the same way that I hope you love me.
They'll be, you know, they take their time going in there. Like it was this one time I was going to the Bank of America, and the lady, she had a walker, and I was like, she was like, oh, you know what I have to do? I said, it's okay, I got time.
Here's the deal. As someone who walks really slowly these days, all we want is for someone to do that because they do that as like who they are, or not if that's who they are, and say you're welcome. Period. Like, move on. We all have days. Yeah. We all have things. We're all old or young or whatever the fuck. Who cares?
And those that don't even say thank you, whatever, which is fun. Oh, those are the fun ones.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
That's it. And
because that's what you need in that moment.
That's all you need in that moment. And then it gives everyone that warm fuzzy to walk away with.
Yeah, but it's nice to, you know.
She's trying to educate you. Can you hear what she's saying?
Yes.
For somebody who's disabled, perhaps, like this old lady who's slow, all they're looking for is a...
All we
very
want
welcome.
is
Have a
people to
great
be
day.
kind in our presence.
Yeah.
That's
and,
it.
And that's all it's about.
And it's not a high five. It's not a like, yay for you. You don't get a cookie. It's just like, you're
Where
a
are you
nice
off to?
person, period. I don't want your life story. No offense. Thanks for holding the door. You're a good person. Take that with you for the day. You're welcome. Peace out.
Now go be a better Winston for you because
Yeah.
you just earned some credit in the world or whatever.
Well, I heard it from this movie I just saw. Roman J. Israel Esquire, Denzel. That's my man.
Oh, I love Denzel. Yeah.
He said there.
What's the movie?
Roman J. Israel Esquire. Great movie.
New movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He plays a lawyer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah, and he there's this one line in the film. He says there's no statute of limitations for chivalry. That goes for anything.
Yeah.
You know, there's no statute of limitations for kindness. You know, really, it doesn't. You know, it's not a bad thing. You know, if you see somebody behind you, hold the door behind. You know, it's like, hey, what's that? You know, have a good day. You know,
Peace out.
keep it. Pay it forward. That movie, I never saw it, but the
Really?
concept.
Yeah, it's.
You know, just
I'm
keep
a
it
sucker
going.
on that
You know,
one.
something to keep going. If it keeps going, you know, somebody's bad day is going to turn into a great day after it's all over.
For me, that's what it's all about, though.
Yeah.
We all have the
Collecting
capacity to
smiles.
do that for everyone, and it's something I was not thoughtful about. Like, I wasn't mindful about how I could do that for other people, and it's really as simple as holding the door sometimes.
Yeah.
So when if everyone did one more thing a day that was just paying more attention to their surroundings and helping when they can, nicer world.
Well, I like
good.
that. I like that movie. That it was a sequel. What was it? Evan Almighty, the Bruce
Yeah.
Almighty. Yeah, I like that one because he says at the end of it, Morgan Freeman writes in the dirt, "What built? You know, what did you build? An ark?" And he was saying, "An ark spelling a random act of kindness, one thing at a time." It shouldn't be such a big shit. You know, gazoon tight. God bless you. You know, somebody take your sneeze. You know, it just doesn't hurt to, you know, do that kind of stuff. But we're just really wrapped up and we're up in arms right now because it's a lot of shit on the board.
I would
That's all
like
I can
to.
say.
Both of you are very similar in this. You have a beautiful, nice, positive button to end on, but then you both wrap it around to back on some funk because you both wrap your head around the problem of the situation.
No, but I will say this. I will
All
go
right.
positive.
All right.
Because I got the
And
best.
then we gotta wrap it up.
I got the best advice from Ernie Watts when we were performing together. We were talking about some things, and he said, "Winston, you know, for the first 40 years, I've been playing what everybody else wanted me to play. Now I'm taking the next 40 years to play what I want to play. I'm 72. I'll be 80 soon, and then I'm going to have a meeting with myself. The best thing to do is not go over it, go under it, is to go through it." And that, after I sat on that even after the festival was over, I sat on that while I was back east, and I, you know, went out to my comfort zones, my little quiet places in the Delaware Valley where I just go and like to be by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I sat on that and thought about it. I was like, you know what? Yeah, sometimes you just got to plow through it, you know. And you know, with anything, I mean, you can't run away from it. If it's something that you got to see, you know, David had his best days, you know, with a slingshot and 4 rocks. So, you know, it's just the best way is to just any kind of thing. No matter how massive it is, just go right through it, plow right through it.
I love that. Do you take that advice?
Oh, yes.
Good for
you.
you.
Yes.
Good for
very
you.
much. Well, you know, I mean, you can't run from things. It's better to face a problem and just, you know.
You got grounded and centered real quick there when you were talking about
Yeah.
that. Do you feel your energy change, man? You got
No,
like
it just
fucking,
is-
you got like what you were preaching.
I mean, you know, we went off many tangents on this thing, talking about what's going on in the world, you know,
We do, it's
political,
all right.
social, this and that. But really, I've just seen the world change from when I was a child or when I was first getting out into it. Like you were talking about, I'll make it quick, you know, the TSA.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
I remember what you were talking about. The first trip I ever did with the Stylistics, I showed up in a suit and tie.
To travel. That's what
Now
you're
the
doing.
rest of the guys in the band were like jogging suits, whatever. These guys are veterans. This was day one on the road, 1991. I had 8 bags of shit. I took almost everything that I owned because I didn't know where the hell I was going. I'd never been to St. Louis before. I'd never been to California before. The second gig, my second night on the band, was a Strand right over here in Redondo Beach. If you remember that, it's now a Bristol Farms now. God rest
Are
its
you
soul.
kidding? The Strand is a
I didn't
Bristol
know that.
Farms.
It's where the Strand used to be is a Bristol Farms.
On the
Now,
pier.
broke my heart. It was
Weird.
the Strand was like the greatest. I remember
I remember all those places, the Lighthouse, all those places on that strip there.
I remember I don't know if I still have it. I had not a billboard, but a calendar from there, and I'm looking, and it's like we were in there. It was like one weekend it was us. Next weekend it was Chick Corea. The next weekend was Parliament Funkadelic. The next weekend after that was Maynard Ferguson. You know, it was like everybody came in there, and they didn't let any ugly women in this place. I'm telling you. I'd never seen anything like this before. I was 17 years old, and my friend, the bass player, was like, dude, just stand here. And I'm like, I just graduated high school 6 months earlier, and I'm seeing this shit. But I say that to say, you know, with all, you know, bringing all that stuff, you know, about the TSA, it's like, you know, it was an easier time then. You know, you walk through the little metal detector. It was like, it wasn't a big deal. You know, you didn't have to take your shoes off and all that crap. I mean, before it was a really nice time. I enjoyed it. Even the planes felt bigger. Now you're in a fucking sardine can. Bro. You get charged for everything.
What's happening? You are spiraling out of
No. You know, I still try to make it positive. You are
unwranglable.
I still try to make it positive in my travels, though. Really, I'm telling you, because after 28 years,
all right, I have to stop you.
I know.
I love you very much, but on the
we'll do it again.
We love everybody. You seem to be in a much better place in your life than you were last time we saw you.
Well, yeah.
Seriously, you seem like happier and just. I don't know. You got an air about you.
Wait till you see me next time.
I can't wait. No. I know there's a lot of things in the works.
Buddy Rich joke.
There's a lot of things we can't talk about right now, and I know that. I know that.
Right, yeah.
But I'm excited for you. We are both incredibly happy for you.
Yeah.
I'm happy that you're my friend.
All the things that you have going on behind the scenes.
Well, I'm happy that you're my friends.
We're happy we're your friends as well.
You know, I'm happy what you're doing with this, you know, and this is kind of fun, you know.
Thanks, man.
Like I say, you know, I know it'll be, you know, it's like it'll come back again, and you know, well, actually, no, I want this time. I think I'm gonna when I make that East Coast trip, we'll do that feed.
Cool.
Get with my man.
Absolutely. All right, Mrs. Ryan. Goodness gracious. Let's see. I love you very much, and
no, I love you.
I do love you very much. And we've got Breakfast Club tomorrow. Newcomb's at 9 if anybody wants to go. We don't really meet. Everyone's at their own pace. Next week, we've got Joel Freeman, Brianna Freeman, with Life with the Ryans, back on Monday. That's a whole different thing, but it's a segment now, but we're doing it on Monday, so no guest. You'll see. See you Monday.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Anything else?
No.
Everything's closed up shop? I love you, buddy.
Love you back. I guess we'll do it again sometime.
Whenever you want to come back, just come back.
For reals, man.
All right.
Yes.
Have a great weekend, everybody. We will see you next week.